Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Fire It Up with CJ show. Today we have Hillary Hart talking about her book, The Body of Wisdom. And we are going to be talking about the 9 spiritual abilities that are integrated both in our body and energy system. I kind of view it as like a user's manual for my body, which, I don't know. Welcome, Hillary.
Thank you. Isn't it sad we need a user manual? But we all do.
I know. So tell us, what are the 9 spiritual abilities that I just feel like I've just gained superpowers I didn't even know I had?
Well, that's good. I think women do have a lot of power that we don't know that we have. And the book identifies 9. And they are longing, beauty, the synchronization with the earth, the power to work with creative space, purification, I always forget some, receiving, recognizing the sacredness of life, which is, I believe, the greatest power that we have, and working with life's sacredness, and nourishment.
And community. Did you say community?
And community.
And community.
Building community, valuing community, bringing internal energies outward into community.
What does it mean that it's in our bodies and energy system? How I understand those things. They seem like abstract ideas, all these things, but how is it in my body?
Let's bring it down to earth. When a woman breastfeeds, her body is absolutely involved in a process of nourishing a child. Mm-hmm. What we don't understand is that when we breastfeed, there are chakras in our breast, so these are energy points that are active. And they emit spiritual nourishment with the milk for the child.
Whoa!
So women's bodies, then the functions of women's bodies, when we can see them in terms of the creation and nourishment of life in an external sense, there's always a spiritual dimension to that, which is hidden, which mostly our world doesn't know about. Most women, when they breastfeed, they will have a very, very deep experience of intimacy and union and love and a sense of incredible connection beyond themselves. And what they don't understand is this is absolutely a spiritual experience, that it is the experience that everybody who's a seeker or a saint on a spiritual path is looking for. It's just that it's given naturally for women because we are involved in the creation and nurturing of life. I think the issue is consciousness.
Right.
The more conscious we are of what's happening in our hearts, in our bodies, with our energy system, the more powerful we become.
If I was feeding my child with a bottle because I couldn't breastfeed for whatever reason, if it's done in an intentional way, still that spiritual energy, because the love is actually in the nourishment and it's there.
Right.
Yeah.
And the key point with that is what we don't understand. Well, one, we don't understand that these are spiritual experiences we're having. Mm-hmm. Might feel that they are, but we keep them so close and so intimate, and the world doesn't recognize them as such, that we tend to not think of them as spiritual. But first of all, they're spiritual, and secondly, they have to do with our energy systems and our relationship to life, not just to our child. So later in life, even after a child is weaned, and while a woman is feeding with a bottle, that capacity to nourish through the breast is still present, and you just need to activate it. And knowing it's there is the first step in activating it. And what we don't understand is that women's bodies are this portal of spiritual energy. What women need to understand is that we have a connection to the whole of life that is fully embodied, that when we are willing to communicate and give and nourish all of life, it will naturally flow.
Okay, I get it. You're saying that our bodies connect all of our bodies, but women in particular have the special abilities to nurture and to give and to provide nourishment. And we have it through breastfeeding, but we have that at all times. And so it's about tapping that.
We do. And part of that's just one of the powers. That's the nourishing power.
Right.
And there are 8 others that I describe in the book, and just about each of them has an esoteric component. Mm-hmm. But what is unique to women, and by unique to women I mean different than men, is that we have an aspect of embodiment that is undeniable. Women are very connected to the earth. Our energy systems are intricately tied with the energy systems of the earth. Our soul is intricately woven through the body into the soul of the earth. And
how's it different for men than for women? What's unique about the way I'm connected to the earth versus my husband?
Everything is unique. The way that our energy flows tends to flow up from the earth through our feet and back down to the earth. Whereas most energy systems of most men flow from above down into the body and back up.
Oh, fascinating.
You know, there's a reason why we call the earth Mother Earth. There's a reason why the Lakota people call the sky gods Grandfather Sky, Grandmother Earth. I mean, throughout history, women have been associated with the earth. The earth has been understood to be feminine in nature. And then now more and more we're seeing and we're understanding how women's energy systems are intricately connected to the earth. And another example, aside from the breastfeeding, for example, is how we bring the soul of a human being into matter as we gestate a child. So men, I mean, these are just functions that men do not participate in.
Right.
They do not, that is not their spiritual function.
Right.
To weave the soul of a child into a physical form and birth it into life.
And how does that translate? That ability that I have innately in me, it definitely comes forth in childbearing. But how does that come forth? Let's say in my work.
You know that it needs. Let me just say it needs to come forth. First and foremost, it absolutely needs to come forth. Women, the world needs women to live this power because life is absolutely undernourished. The earth is degraded and undernourished. Our physical bodies are degraded and undernourished. And women have access to a spiritual nourishment that we can thread into our lives. And through doing so, we can enliven and regenerate the spiritual cells of the entire body of the earth. Now, how you do this, it's described to some degree in my book, but I want to emphasize again, it is just a natural function. If we remember that, if we trust what we know in ourselves, it will happen. It's like how we love our children. It is like how when we plant a garden, we care about the flowers or the vegetables, how we prepare food with love, how we bake bread with love, how we feed our children and create a home. All of these functions bring love and light into the material world to nourish community. Now, it's natural for most women. Unfortunately, in the West, we have been so cut off from what is natural. We've been cut off because of the patriarchal systems that we live in that have degraded our bodies, violated our bodies. We don't want to even be in our bodies.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm hearing is it's going back to the original statement you had a couple minutes ago, that it's about consciousness. If you're conscious that, I actually, with every expression, whether it's through cooking or driving my kids in carpool or nursing or doing my work, it's an expression of and an opportunity to take that earth energy from below and funnel it into love to other people.
Well, and to bring love down through our bodies into the whole of life.
Yeah.
With us, it's sort of, there's no difference, but we have this capacity to unify spirit and matter.
You'll be coming to East West Bookstore in the fall, and your book is Body of Wisdom, Women's Spiritual Power and How It Serves. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Hillary.
Thank you, CJ.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
All right.